conversation, I might have a toast with you. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling great, I'm terrific. We ain't taking no losses, we winning. Undefeated, check the percentage.
Yo, what is going on, everybody, man? Shout out everybody in the building already. Y'all already know what to do. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you get active in the comment section, man. Get vocal. You know what I'm saying? Tonight is the night. Listen, I want to just say this show tonight really is taking me back to where I first started, where I wanted to reach out to other Vikings podcasters and kind of just see what their thoughts are about the team and just have a conversation and talk Minnesota Vikings football. So this is going to be a special, special episode tonight because we have a newer podcaster to the, at least as far as I'm concerned, new to me. You know, I found him and him and his partner. So I'm excited to just kind of talk about some Vikings football and talk about him and where it all started. So without further ado, man, let's get my boy K-Dub in the building, man. What's happening?
Wow, man. This is like official right here. Holy moly. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. How you doing, man?
I'm doing wonderful, man. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm good. First of all, thank you for joining the show. I know we were trying to set it up for last week and some things happened and we had to push it to this week. So I'm glad we finally are able to link up, and talk some Minnesota Vikings football.
Well, 100%, man. I've been looking forward to it ever since you threw it out there, and I'm glad we finally found an opportunity to do it. And what better week to do it than Packers week? I mean, come on, let's go.
Hey, who you telling, man? Packers week, baby. We got to get the dub this week. You know what I mean? No, no pun intended.
Must get the dub.
No, that's a fact, man. So like, where did you? So a couple quick questions at the beginning of the show, just so the people can kind of figure out who you are, because I'm sure there's people in the building that are like, yo, who's K-Dub and what's
Absolutely.
the purple dopes? You know what I'm saying? What is that? So
we're all purple dopes.
There we go. I like it. You know what I'm saying? I like that. I'm cool with that. So it's crazy. You got purple dopes. When I was doing music back in the day, my group, my like record label was called Audio Dope Heads. You know what I'm saying? And we used to always say dope. Like dope was a strong word. Like how I say purple gang now, we would always say, hey, that's dope. This is dope. I mean, dope was kind of like our core word that we kind of spread and put on shirts and all type. I mean, it went crazy. You know what I mean? So we would put dope vibes, all type of stuff. So no, I can relate. You know what I mean? I can relate. I like it. I fit right in, man. You know what I'm saying? But so the purple dopes, we got K-Dub here. K-Dub, kind of tell us real quick. Tell us like about your podcast really quick, where they can find you and what you guys, as far as like, when do you guys do episodes throughout the week?
Absolutely. So the Purple Dopes with Hopes podcast. You got to make sure to include that
with hopes. I keep forgetting that. Yeah. I got to put that in there.
We got to make sure to include that with Vikings fans, especially right now. We got to live a little bit more with those hopes. But yeah, we record weekly. We post on Tuesdays. We're on YouTube, Purple Dopes with Hopes podcast, as well as Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and then Amazon. And it's just search Purple Hopes with Dopes. Or Purple Dopes with Hopes podcast, and yeah, we're on all those platforms. And then it's linked in all of our videos as well. So if you find our videos, yeah.
Nice. And by the way, everybody, the name is in the title of the video. So just click that and it will take you straight there as well. I like to do that instead of the description there, K-Dub.
Yes,
anytime I'm working with somebody, I always just put their name in the title. I just feel it's right there. You can't miss it. It is there in the title, not the description. I feel like some people slack on reading the description, because me, I don't read
100%.
Descriptions of videos either. I just 100%. Hit the video. So,
yeah. But I'm learning a lot as I, kind of start to navigate the YouTube, man. Those comments, when you make comments, people are talking to people on the YouTube scene. So,
absolutely.
Anytime I comment on your videos, it's like I get piled on. Usually I'm hitting them with a hopeful quote, and then the Vikings haters are coming in there. But it's all good, man. We got love for all the people. So
absolutely, man. Yeah, man. It's the comment section is for everybody to get together and kind of go at it and agree and disagree and do everything in between. You know what I mean? That's what I love about it, though. I love everything about it. That's what keeps me going doing this. But so when did you guys when did you guys start the podcast? And like, what was the inspiration behind starting the podcast? Like, when was this thing launched? The Purple Dopes with Hopes.
So the Purple Dopes with Hopes launched officially this last June. But my partner Darren and I, we've been talking about this for a while now. We connected randomly. His wife was my kid's pediatrician, and I made a random comment because she was from Minnesota originally about the Vikings, and she said, "Oh, geez, you got to meet my husband. He's a big Vikings fan." And that was like, I live in a small town in Washington State where there's no Vikings fans, so it was
Okay.
like I got to meet this guy. We got to become best friends. And lo and behold, 4.5 years later, we are now doing a podcast together. And really, the premise of was like, we talked Vikings every week. Him and I, we text talk Vikings every single week. And it came to a point where we were like, dude, we should just do this over a stream of some sort. And so we started kind of playing around with the idea. I would say in probably March or April, we started kind of throwing the idea out there like, hey, we should do a podcast. But there's a million football podcasts out there. So we really wanted to kind of figure out, okay, what's going to be different about this podcast than every other football team podcast that's out there. And we came up with the Purple Dopes with Hopes. And really that the with Hopes is kind of the thing that I feel like I want to use to set us apart.
Okay.
We are optimistic Vikings fans to the core. Like, we are always going to bring the hopes when it comes to these Minnesota Vikings, even if they are crushing our souls every single week out there.
Yeah.
That's what we really like to focus on, is really kind of the positive side of the Minnesota Vikings. Now, are the Vikings going to frustrate us? Yes. Are we going to communicate that in our podcast? Yes. But we're also always going to bring the hopes with our takes on the Minnesota Vikings. So yeah, and then I think we're 21 episodes in now, and just continuing to kind of build connections. And the biggest thing for me is just connecting with other Vikings content creators has been super fun, like yourself and other dudes on YouTube as well as Twitter has been super fun. So there's a lot of really great Vikings content that comes out, and it's been super cool to kind of discover that as we're discovering this podcast journey.
Let's go, man. Shout out Purple Dope with Hopes, man. Let's get it, man. The Ricky. All right, so that's nice. Now, the most important question before we get knee deep into this Minnesota Vikings 2025 football season is, what links you to the Minnesota Vikings? Like, why are you a fan? Are you from Minnesota? I know you said you're in Washington, and are you in a classroom? I'm just curious. It looks like my science class behind you there, man.
Believe it or not, I am in a classroom. This is actually my classroom. I'm a 7th grade English teacher by profession, and then a Vikings podcaster outside of it. So
let's go, doing God's work.
I'm trying my best, man. I've been teaching middle school for 15 years now, so it's the greatest joy aside from being a father and a Vikings fan. So I put that as nice on there. So
nice, man. We appreciate you, man, for what you do, being a teacher.
Absolutely.
You know, somebody who has teenage kids, and then I have 2 teenage daughters who one's about to graduate this year, and the other one still has a year. But then I also have a 4-year-old who's about to enter elementary school next school season. So and I'm the type of father, right, where all of my kids' teachers, like, I build relationships with. I mean, 100%. I have the numbers, I'm emailing, I'm just like, yo, keep me in the loop. I want to be able to text you about the football game, because I want to really build that connection so that you treat my child and you know that, hey, I really care about my kids' education, and I want to make sure the teacher understands that. And I know as a teacher, man, it's tough to balance it. So shout out to you, man. You know, you guys don't get enough credit, man.
Well, I'm thankful to be able to do what I do every day, man. And the fact that I get a check for doing it is just all the more. So I appreciate the support. Parents like you are awesome to have in our corners. But really, in the end, you know, the kids are my greatest joy. I love middle school kids. It's just the perfect age. They're still interested in their teachers' lives, but they're a little bit more independent than those elementary kids. And it's super fun. So
yeah, man. Shout out K-Dub, man. Let's go, man. Shout out K-Dub out here, boy. All right. So hold on. Did you answer the question about how you're linked to Minnesota?
No. So I'm not connected to Minnesota state-wise. My dad was actually born and raised in the 70s in Minnesota. So he came up with the Purple People Leaders. He can still ramble off the entire starting defense from those Super Bowl Vikings teams. And that, when you said, you know, what links me to the Vikings, it's my dad. 100%. My dad came up as a Vikings fan. And then when I was in 4th grade, which I don't know how old you are, but I'm a 41-year-old dude.
36.
I'm a child of the 90s. So when it came to 4th grade and all my buddies were getting their starter jackets of the Bulls and the Tar Heels and the Cowboys, the Charlotte Hornets, shout out Charlotte Hornets. My dad surprised me at Christmas with my first team jacket, which was a Minnesota Vikings coat.
Okay.
And from there, it's just the rest is history. That was mid 90s. And then we know in the later 90s, the Vikings got really good. So that jacket became really cool to wear. And, they drafted this guy named Randy Moss, who was pretty good at football, helped
Yeah.
him get to that NFC title game, which we won't discuss. I'm sure we'll get to that at some point, but I don't want to open up any wounds yet.
Yeah.
And from then on, man, I've just been a huge fan of that team. And I really feel like, my dad and I, it really connects us and keeps our relationship strong because every football season, it's the Minnesota Vikings. And every week we're talking the Minnesota Vikings. And now that I'm doing my podcast, he's a firm listener in the podcast.
I'm sure he's excited about that, ain't he?
Yeah.
He's probably like, that's my boy. Let's go. There's my boy.
He likes to call and critique my takes a little bit, but it's all good. So, but no, I mean, it really goes back to my dad and just him and I's relationship there. And then a pretty cool story. Last year, my dad retired from work, and I always said, hey, when you retire, we're going to go watch a game in Minnesota. And so last year, the Packers Vikings home game in week 17, we were able to go watch that live with Darren, my partner in the podcast, joining us. And so, we got to experience the game in real life in a Minnesota setting with Minnesota fans. It was pretty amazing. So pretty awesome experience.
Man, shout out. We got to get Darren on here. Darren was more than welcome to join today too. I would have been perfectly fine with having both of the dopes. You know what I'm saying? Like that would have been fire.
I will make sure that you get a chance to chat with Darren as well because he's got a pretty cool upbringing. He comes from Minnesota, so he was right in the thick of the Vikings country there. So it would be awesome for you.
Okay, next time, next time we gotta because this obviously isn't going to be the last time that we connect.
Sure.
You know what I mean? This is just the beginning. We just breaking the ice right now, But all right, cool. Shout out Darren.
Now I got to hear a little bit about your story in the Vikings, though.
Oh, I'll tell you.
I know you're on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So how do you connect to Minnesota?
So my story is pretty much the same. It wasn't my father, but it was Randy Moss. It was just being, Randy Moss pretty much being my sports dad in a way because I looked up to him. You know what I mean? I wanted to be Randy Moss. I wanted to. Me and my friends, we were outside every day playing football. We had a game we used to call. We actually called the game touchdown. It was just random, and we would, one quarter. It takes 3 people. And you just have one quarterback, a wide receiver, and a corner, and you just kind of kept score. Going up to like 11 or something like that. We had some score, but it was, and you just rotate, and the first person to get to 11 wins. And Randy Moss was always the dude. I'm like, yo, I'm about to Moss you. We were saying that before it came out on TV. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like you should be getting some residual checks.
I'm
for that.
telling you, man.
You might have started that.
Yeah, for sure. So like, and that's really straight cut how it is. And then I always tell this weird story where me and my cousin, and this is me like, okay, I like Moss. Okay. I like Randy Moss. That's my guy. But I wasn't fully committed to the Minnesota Vikings, not really understanding. Cause I'm 9 years old at this point.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm like, all right. So me and my cousin, we go to a place called CC's Pizza, and they used to have those little mugs that had the football logo, the teams on them. They were just like little coffee cups, mini coffee cups. And we put a quarter in. And before we did it, we said, hey, whatever team we pick right here, because we were already playing like Madden at this time, big fans of football, just never committed to a team yet. And we're like, whatever team we pick, that's the team we're going to root for the rest of our lives. And we made them. I mean, obviously, we said it to each other, but, things would have changed. Well, surprisingly, I picked the Vikings actually came out, which is weird. It came out, right? So, and the one that came out for him was the Washington Redskins. And to this day, he's die hard. You know what I mean? Die hard through all the ups and downs. And I mean, so me and him both became fans of our team the same exact day, pretty much. And that's that's the story, man. That's how I became a Vikings fan. I'm loyal. So, once I became a fan, man, I was there, I'm riding. So this is where I'm at now, man. This is where I'm at.
Well, I love that story, man. And it just shows you, man, that simple things in life can really change the course. Because you think about, like, I talked this about with my friend Chris. He's a diehard Dolphins fan. And we don't have a lot of decisions that we made as like early teens to even like 8, 9, 10 that carry out into our 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
But for some reason, like our decision to root for these teams has carried on as bad as they hurt us, as bad
Yep.
as they let us down, they continue to carry on. So it's a pretty special thing, I think, sports fandom in general, but
Yeah.
especially when you can link to a team at a young age and continue rooting through the ups and downs, which we've had many downs into your 30s and 40s.
And I had plenty opportunities, you're right, to back out of this
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
right? Plenty opportunities to go under the radar and back out. No, I never rooted for the Vikings. No, I've always been a Patriots fan. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? I've
100%,
always
man.
been a Chiefs fan, man, my whole
Yeah.
life.
Oh,
But
I mean, how easy, being in Washington State when the Seahawks got good in the mid
yeah,
2000s and then in the mid 2010s. I mean, it would have been easy to jump ship, but shoot,
yeah.
I was cheering them hard with all them Seahawks fans in the room when Blair Walsh shanked that field goal. Like
Oh
I was getting
man.
all the shade. Imagine being the only Vikings fan in Washington State at that point. It was a little brutal, but I
Yeah,
stayed true, man. I could have
yeah,
jumped, but it's like, nah, man, this team has this really special place in my heart. And I think
yeah.
the more Vikings fans you talk to, you realize that holds true for majority of Vikings fans.
Absolutely.
They're in it. There's
Absolutely.
they're in it until they either die or we win a Super Bowl. But
Hey,
hopefully
we in it like Bennett, baby. We ain't going nowhere. I'm here. I'm here to stay. You know what I mean? And starting YouTube, man, was the best decision and probably
absolutely.
one of the best decisions of my life. I'm talking about everything, financially, everything. Not
Yeah.
that the financial part on YouTube. I'm just saying like all of my decisions that I've made.
Mm,
And I've made some good ones. I've made some bad ones. I'm gonna tell you right now, this one here was a really good one, and it's towards the top of the list of just starting to
yeah,
do YouTube and be able to build a family of good friends. I'm talking about real people in the chat right now that I look at as family.
for
Like you know
sure.
what I mean? Like we're
Yeah.
brothers,
Mm.
uncles, everything, all of the above, sisters. We have met. We have. I mean, it's just it's amazing. You know what I mean? I want to say it's amazing.
But what connects everybody? It's this football team,
This
which
football
is an
team.
amazing thing. It's the same thing with
Yeah.
with Darren and I. Our friendship is what it is because it's rooted in the Minnesota Vikings, and I'm
Yeah.
sure you could talk the same to the people that you're speaking about in your chat
Yeah,
right now. It's like
absolutely.
this team connects us. Like,
Yeah,
and I don't know if it's like a weird a weird abusive relationship that we're in this like therapy session at all times, but it's
yeah,
like it's where we're rooted in this, and then it grows from there where
yeah.
goes beyond just your
I'm in it for the long
you're
haul,
stuck.
OG.
You
I'm in
stuck.
it. I'm stuck like Chuck, baby. You know what I mean? But it's all right. I'm here for the ride. Shout out Barber, real quick, K Dub. Let me get some shout outs in here, man, because we do have a good amount of people in here watching and
Yeah,
supporting, and we appreciate everybody. Broski Bear, I see you. Zoe Norse was good with you, Norse. My Skull Broski, Skull Mafia was good. Papa Gary in the building. Baba fade you up. Let's get it, man. Let's go. We got Vic in the building. I see you. FJB, my guy, was good, man. Shout out FJB in the building, man. Good to see you tonight. I already said Vic. All right, did I miss it? Maddie, what's good, Maddie, man? I see you in the building. Shout out, Maddie, man. Let me just keep going. Who we got? Jared O, what's good, bro? Shout out Jared O. I see you, man. So shout out everybody. Y'all make sure you hit the like button. K Dub. All right, we spent 20 minutes. That was perfect. We spent 20 minutes. We got to know you. People know about your podcast. They kind of know where your whole connection to the Minnesota Vikings and why you're sitting here tonight with me, tonight
for
on
sure.
my side.
Yep.
It was some day on yours, but now let's get to the nitty-gritty, right? Let's get
Okay.
to the what's really going on with our football team at this point right now when we're talking about what is it? November 19th,
Yep.
2025, the Minnesota Vikings, man. Woo-wee. So let me just ask you. Well, we're gonna go down a couple categories here.
Okay.
So let's just get to it right away. Let's talk about this quarterback. First of all, were you a JJ McCarthy fan from the beginning, from the moment we drafted him, or did you have your doubts going into it?
I wouldn't say that I had my doubts. If I'm being really honest, I was a big fan when we signed Sam Darnold.
Okay.
I thought that was a really good transitional quarterback for us, and I really think any guy that gets drafted by the New York Jets, he deserves a second chance somewhere. Like
Okay.
New York Jets is not an organization at this time that's really going to build a build a quarterback up, but I think that Darnold was a really good transitional piece, and I was excited with the possibilities of what he would bring as we transitioned into JJ. But as far as JJ McCarthy goes, I was excited with that draft pick. I think JJ McCarthy is a winner. I think he's still a winner.
Mhm.
I think he's proven that. I do think he's still 22 years old. So when we drafted him, he was 21. So in
Yeah.
my expectations of him weren't that he was going to go out and win the Super Bowl in season 2 like Mahomes. I knew there was going to need to be some time to develop. I didn't realize he was going to hit that injury. So I feel like we're kind of like 2.0 or year 1 2.0 of JJ right now. I feel like a lot of the things that we're seeing I expected to see last year because I expected him to be starting midseason last year. But
Yeah.
I'm still a believer. I'm still a buyer on JJ McCarthy. I still have a lot of hopes for him. Obviously, I think Kevin O'Connell is a great coach, and I think he can coach up any quarterback to be successful in the NFL, as he's shown with guys like Darnold, the guys that he's really given a second chance to. So.
Yeah, yeah, and we feel the same. I feel the same way about JJ McCarthy. I mean, I was me for sure, and then our community over here. I mean, we hyped them up. Like I'm talking when I tell you, we went on a press run of hyping them up, and now we're to the point where we almost feel a little bad for doing it so much because I think
sure.
we set expectations for the outsiders looking in that do follow us, and they're looking like, well, shoot, hey, rap in the purple gang community, I mean, shoot, they making it seem like bro gonna come in and I had a couple people hit me up that were like, rap, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't like JJ McCarthy. He's there, and they literally emailed me and messaged me, bro, like, and was like, I didn't really like JJ McCarthy, but bro, you sold me. And I'm gonna tell you right now, rap, I think I gotta jump off the train, bro. Like you lied to me, like taking it personal. You know what I mean? I'm like, bro, relax, okay? Let's chill. It's early in the process. This is a process. And
100%.
I think a lot of people forget that. They forget that it is a process. And I said something earlier. So I had JJ McCarthy's quarterback coach on.
I
Greg
listened
Hope.
to it, man. Great interview. I loved it. It was
Yeah.
great. I thought you did a really good job. And I thought it was really
Appreciate that.
I thought it was really cool that how open and he was willing to share on things. And then I saw right after that statement was released and then it was revoked. And
Yeah.
so there was some, I don't know some legal tape or something, but I'm really pleased with his response and the things that he shared in the interview. I just thought he was really honest and really open with you.
Absolutely, absolutely, and a shout out to Coach for coming on in such quick notice. I seen everything going on, and I hit him up this morning and was like, "Yo, can you get on and tell us what's going on?" And he was like, "Let's go." So he wanted to get it out there. He first of all, when it comes to that, right? He just was going off emotions. For the ones that didn't hear the interview, you can go on. It's on the page. Obviously, we had him on earlier, and he was just protecting his son, pretty much. That's that's all it really is. That's all it is.
When I saw the reaction to it, like to me, like Twitter, which I see a question on there at Mr. K-Dub on Twitter, all one word there, Mr. KDUB. But I responded to a post that someone made about this arguing back and forth, and it's like there are so many other things that people post on Twitter that people respond to and make quotes to, and celebrities say this and that. And it's like this one thing where a dude basically sticks up for a kid that he's been coaching since I think he was in 7th grade.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you gotta respect, number one, the fact that he was willing to stand up. I understand the context of it was probably not the right phrase to use, but still, like, I think as a community, we kind of blew that one up a little bit. And it takes away from the focus of what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to win football games for the Minnesota Vikings. That's what we're trying to do, fandom. So
facts, man. You hit it right on the head. It's a distraction in a way, but shout out to Coach for coming on and taking accountability. That's the most important thing. Being a man, knowing that you could have handled it differently, because it went viral. It would be different if only like a couple people seen it. It was a post where it got 20 likes, but this thing went crazy. Like, I mean, now the sad part is this with all of this, and I touched on it after he got off the phone earlier, was, he texted me about 2 hours after we did the show, and he was like, "Rap, you ain't gonna believe this, but they actually they're talking about me on Bears radio right now about this." He's like, "Man, this thing ain't gonna go away." And I told him, I'm like, "Coach, don't worry about it, bro." Like, but that was my fear, is that other teams, specifically NFC North teams, they were gonna take this and run with it. Right? This is what they want to see. They want to see us go through things like this, and they're gonna put it on their K fans and all the extra radio stations they have, man, that they're gonna eat it up. This is perfect for them. So, that's the only thing I feared and didn't want to happen. And also, I don't know how JJ McCarthy took it. So maybe he reached out to his coach and was like, man, coach, I would probably appreciate it if you just take that down because
Yeah.
it seems like it's causing some type of
Mm,
distraction because
for
it
sure.
took off,
No,
so
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the facts that people were quote tweeting it and those were going viral was the
yeah,
crazy thing. I mean, it's all about who
yeah,
it's all about who shares what on in the Twitter world, the X world. I mean, it's all about who shares what. So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So going back to JJ McCarthy in the process and everything we're seeing here, I mean, how are you feeling? How are you really feeling about what you're seeing though in the past couple games? So because I'll tell you where I'm at with it is I know we just touched on it. It's a process, right? But I'm
Mm,
even though like there's some throws in there that I feel like are routine and he should hit these throws. Like I don't think we can use any excuses for some of the throws. Like some of the throws, I'm like it
they're
doesn't
bad.
matter if this is your first
Yeah,
game. It
they're bad.
doesn't matter if they're just these are throws that I feel like an NFL quarterback, period, whether they're a third string or not, they
Yeah.
should hit these. These are kind of throws you should hit. And he's been kind of struggling on the very simple things throughout these ball games. And I'm not gonna say I'm concerned, but I'm wondering, when is it going to change? Now I know he came out today and said he's almost there. I think he used the analogy of cork in a bottle or something, and it's about to pop or
About
something
to
like
pop.
that.
Yeah. Okay.
So hey, look, all I'm saying is, so for you, K Dub, what is your timeline? Because we've been talking about this about trying to figure out what is a good timeline for JJ
Mm,
McCarthy
yeah.
before we say, hey, the kid has it or the kid
Yeah.
doesn't have it, and we got to
That's fair.
kind of figure out the next plan here. What's kind of your time frame that you're
Yeah.
looking into?
Well, I mean, in reality, he's played in 5 games.
Yeah.
And I think, Darren and I kind of touched on this last week on the podcast was like, or this week on the podcast that they got released yesterday. Uh, every game, I feel like I'm seeing something better out of JJ McCarthy. I'm also seeing some things that aren't better.
Yeah.
But I feel like every game I'm seeing improvements in different things, whether that be making a tough throw, whether it be tucking the ball down instead of trying to make a bad pass, whether that be throwing the ball away, whether that be, picking up some yards with his feet. So I'm seeing things every single game that I feel like are better than the last game. The problem is we just have such a small sample size. 5
Yeah.
games is just not enough. So if you're asking me how long until I'm like, is JJ it or not? I think you got to give him a full season. I
Yeah.
really do. I think at this point, Kevin O'Connell and his coaching staff, they got to be in on this guy. I mean, you hear it on X or other social medias like, we got to bring in a veteran. We got to go get Cousins. We got to go get this guy. We got to trade for Mac Jones in the offseason. It's like, you got to wait until the end of the season to see what this guy really looks like as he progresses through the entire season. And if we look at like training camp time, like
Yeah.
he's played in one series this preseason, and I think he played in like a quarter or maybe a half last preseason. Like
Mhm.
you look at the amount of miles this guy has in NFL games, he's really like he hasn't even scratched the surface yet as far as what the engine can do. If we want to use the car analogy, he really hasn't got a chance to press the gas yet. So I'm still hopeful. I hate that we're in this right now. And I think a big part of this is just he was injured for 4 or 5 games this season. So
Yep.
like I think right now we're seeing what we probably would have been hoping to see week like 5 or 6 as far as progressions go, but we're backstepping because he did miss those handful. I think he missed 4 games there with the ankle injuries. So I don't know. The sample size is so small right now. And I think we got to give it. I think as Vikings fans, we got to just hang on. We got to see what happens this season. And I think by the end of the season, we'll have a real good gauge as far as what we want to do. And I think O'Connell's smart. O'Connell's not
Yeah.
going to be dumb. O'Connell is a great coach and wants to win. And I don't think he's going to continue to pump things into something that's not working. But I
Mhm.
think you got to give O'Connell and him some time. I think you got to give those wide receivers time. You got to give, come on, our offensive line. Can we talk a little bit about that? I
Yeah.
mean, really,
Yeah.
our offensive line, the last 2 games is the first time we've actually seen them as a unit all together that we anticipated to see week 1 and week 2. So there's just so many things that have happened this year that I'm just like, we got to hold on. We got to give it the
Yeah.
whole year. And if at the end of the year we're, sub 500, okay, let's have a conversation. But I think we got to give this thing a shot. I think we really got to try to ride this thing out at least through the 2025 season.
No,
What
that's a
about you?
fact.
What's your timeline?
So that's pretty much I'm on the same wave.
Yeah.
Like you got to finish out this season at the least. You know, at the least you have to finish out this season, which obviously is going to happen as
Yeah.
long as he doesn't get injured or
Injured or
something. Knock
shut
on
down.
wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any situation where they're gonna bench him. I
No.
think they're gonna let him go through
100%.
all of the adversity, everything that he has to go through. He's gonna go through it.
What
You
what are
know,
our, what are our options if they bench him?
that's
We've
what I'm
got
saying.
rid
Max
of everybody.
Brosmer. So and then that
Brosmer.
goes to that goes to Skolaholic. You know, we talk about McCarthy like he's a 5th round pick, and then he also said, why can't Vikings fans be honest and admit McCarthy ain't ready? Well, the truth of the matter is this: we can come out and say he ain't ready, but then guess what? What does that mean? Does that
Yeah.
mean you put Max Brosmer out there? You know,
Yeah.
like where do you go from here? Whether he's ready or not, here
100%.
we come. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep.
You gotta play
Buckle
him.
up. Hmm.
You gotta play him, like for real. And you can see things, you can see good things when you watch him too.
Hmm.
You know, I think that's what's so frustrating about it because you see certain things in him and you're like, yo, I see the talent there. Like I see the superstar kind of
Yeah.
vibes, the way he carries himself. And it's just almost like you can see it and you're almost there. And then a play happens where it's like, oh my gosh,
Well, it's
why?
like
You know?
It's like Sunday's game against the Bears. It's like for 3 3/4, like you're wondering what are we doing? And then he puts together that fourth quarter drive where he gets us ahead, touchdown to Addison, 15-yard touchdown to Addison, and you're like, okay, there it is.
Yeah.
Right? I think he was 4 4 or 5 of 5 on that drive. He made
Yeah.
that great touch pass to Naylor on the sidelines and then hits Addison in the corner of the end zone there on that back shoulder. It's like there it is.
Yeah.
That's it right there. But the fact of the matter is we just haven't seen that compiled on a quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4 yet. And
Yeah, consistent
yeah,
play. I mean, the Lions game is probably the obviously out of the 5 games we've
for sure.
seen, the Lions game is by far the best one,
Mhm.
and there was even a little bit of struggles in that game too.
Yeah,
Even though he finished very strong in that game. I think he started strong and finished strong, but the middle, it's almost just
yep,
like, come on, man, you gotta put it together.
yeah. Which is
But
it's
yeah,
interesting the difference between like him that I see with him and Darnold. Like the thing that I really liked about Darnold is his offensive scripts coming to start the game and the second half were always his best sets.
yeah,
When he knew the script, when he knew the routes, the times when he struggled was when he had to kind of work off the cuff a little bit. Okay, we're in
yeah,
a hurry up, and you kind of saw that in the Seattle game last week against the Rams. Like when he's got to hurry up, when he's got to get things going, like that's where he struggles. Whereas I feel like McCarthy's struggle is coming out the gate, coming out of the second half. When he thrives is when it's off the cuff, when he's just running the offense and no huddle, setting things up at the line, and away we go. So I don't know how we get the best of both worlds between them, but I think we got to continue to wait it out and see.
yeah, so I know a lot of people don't trust, there is some people that really don't trust our head coach, right?
Yeah.
And you know, I can see the reasoning why it'd be hard to trust Kevin O'Connell lately because he
Hmm.
says one thing and does another. But I'm gonna believe him when he says that JJ McCarthy is made of the right stuff
Yeah.
because I feel the same exact way before I heard KOC say that. I felt like that
Yeah.
since I've been watching them. And I'm a Michigan fan when it comes to college football. So
Yeah.
I've watched them maybe longer than some of the other people in the chat and stuff that aren't Michigan fans and stuff like
Mm.
that, or I've watched Michigan games with him playing. So like I saw a bunch of things. Even if it was a game where he only threw 180 yards, you're just like, yo, he went, 16 for 23, but man, 8 of those 16 throws were big
Yeah.
time throws. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I'm talking big time. Like arm is huge. So, and it got me excited. But
Well,
I don't know, man. It's gonna be a journey, man.
I got a question for you on this
Yeah.
one because you kind of brought up O'Connell a little bit,
Yeah.
and I know as as I've been watching you, man, like you are pretty firm that we got to run the ball, which
Oh yeah.
I totally agree with. So, do you feel like O'Connell is having a hard time adjusting to his style of coaching as an offensive coordinator when it comes to this kid, JJ McCarthy? Like, or do you feel like JJ McCarthy, like, where do you feel like the struggle is there? Like, is O'Connell trying to fit McCarthy into a system that he's not really ready for? Or is JJ like just not the, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
I get
guess
what
my
you're saying. Like JJ is not the quarterback for KOC's system, but
exactly.
I think what it is, and I've thought about this is in the past couple of weeks I've been saying this is I think KOC trusts JJ McCarthy too much.
That's
And
fair.
I say that in a good way, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying like you shouldn't trust your young quarterback out there. He's the leader of your team. You gave him a C. The players voted to put a captain C on his jersey. So
Mm,
you got to have some type of trust for him, but I think you trust him too much.
that's
And
fair.
I think he believes that JJ McCarthy is already a 6-7 year vet, like a Kirk Cousins,
Mm,
because you got to think he's been able to coach Kirk Cousins, even Sam Darnold,
all
and
veterans.
coaching those vets. I mean, they kind of know the speed of the game already.
Yeah.
They kind of have an advantage there.
Yeah.
JJ McCarthy, I feel
Mhm.
like getting thrown into these live games, I feel like it's shocking him as far as just how fast the players are.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? The speed. He's probably like, yo, this is way different. But
Yeah.
the great thing about it is, as humans, when you do it enough, right? You tend to adapt. And then if you
Yeah.
have the traits, like he has certain traits that I can see is like once he adapts,
Mm,
those traits that JJ McCarthy has is going to elevate him and turn him into
yeah.
that, star quarterback that we
For sure.
all are hoping that he turns into. I think KOC just kind of trusts him way too much to drop back and throw the ball. I mean, the Ravens game was a prime example of too much trust when you have him throwing the ball 42 times. I mean, that's
Yeah.
outrageous.
Agreed.
I mean, that's just uncalled for, unnecessary, especially when you see the running backs are actually running the ball at a nice clip.
Yeah.
Like your running backs are running at 5 yards a carry, 6 yards a carry. I mean, this is unheard of, man. You have to commit. And I know it's hard for him because he's a former quarterback
Quarterback. Yeah.
and he takes pride in everybody pay attention. He always said, well, the extension to the run game. Instead of just handing the ball off, he rather come up with this extension to the run game BS. And
Mm,
look, I'm a KOC fan. Everybody will tell you, man, I supported KOC, to the bone, man.
yeah.
I'm people talk about I'm like, yo, he's a good coach. He's good. This year right here, I specifically just kind of, took a step back and said, man, look, I support you, but there's things that I'm seeing that are obvious, and I feel like you're not setting JJ McCarthy up to be
Yeah.
as good as he can be.
For sure.
And just getting him these quick passes. I mean, when the
Yeah.
last time you saw a quick pass, K Dub?
No, I 100% agree with you on that one. I mean, I think right now, I think as we've kind of said, I think O'Connell's got him kind of legs ahead of where he is right now in his
Mhm.
NFL progression. And I mean, I would love to see us run the ball 2 times in a row. Holy moly. We got Aaron Jones, we got Jordan Mason. You tell me those guys couldn't carve up at least a 3rd and short for you every other, if not every drive.
Yeah.
We pay these running backs. We have this great kind of dynamic duo, and I really don't feel like we are utilizing them to the degree that I was kind of hoping we would, especially with the amount of money we invested in the offensive line. Like
Yeah.
our offensive line is there to get the push up front, and when we can get that push, like we got to get these guys the ball and make it easier for McCarthy. And we both know once the running game's going, it really opens up the passing game. Instead of saying, well, the passing game is going to open up the running game, like let's start with the run. And
Yeah.
I heard O'Connell come out and say, like, well, in the Chicago game, the Bears had 6 on the line or 7 on the line, and we only had 6 on the line. And you want me to bring Jefferson in there? And I'm like, yeah, I do. Like, run the ball. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like our line was getting the push in that Chicago game and the Ravens game at that. I mean, Aaron Jones, he was shot out of a cannon in that game, dude. He had, I think, 70 yards in the first half. And then I just feel like we go away from it too quick to go to that, pass first offense, which I think we can get there with JJ. But right now, I feel like we need to have a balance, if not a little bit more run heavy, especially with the caliber of running backs that we have.
Right. I mean, you
Yeah.
went out and intentionally invested in a running back in Jordan Mason. Like, I mean, you did that for obviously for a reason, especially after already having Aaron Jones, who's coming off
Yep.
of his best statistical season as a running back.
Mhm.
So, like, most coaches and staff would look at that like, okay, well, we have a running back, and we can say injuries, but he played every game. He may have missed a couple quarters, but he was
Yeah,
available every game.
for
So,
sure.
and you got a running back who produced like that. Most teams, they're not going to go invest in another running back that could also put up those type of numbers as Jordan Mason. I mean, Jordan
Yeah.
Mason was a guy that was behind a Christian McCaffrey, and people looked at him as, hey, he could be an RB1 on other
Yeah,
teams,
for sure.
right? So we went and got that guy. And
Mm.
now for you to give him the ball 4 times, I mean,
Mm.
that's criminal, man.
Yeah.
Like, for real, that really is, man. There's no way that's
Mm.
acceptable. And guess what? I'm not accepting it. Period. I'm
Yeah.
not. So yes, K Dub, I have been on KOC about running the ball, and I think we need to do it even this Sunday right here, coming up against the Green Bay Packers. You have to
Mm.
run the ball. That is the plan. Like you
Yeah.
said, use
Well,
the
and
run to open the pass.
I mean, JJ McCarthy's undefeated on the road, so you never know what's going to happen in Lambeau.
I
But
know.
let's get the guy comfortable in an environment like Lambeau, where the Green Bay fans and the Cheeseheads are going to be coming out as hard and heavy as they can against JJ. Let's allow him to get comfortable with some short passes and to lean on that run, especially early in the game. I mean, the Ravens did it to perfection against us, where our defense, as they have been doing all season, continuing to hold, continue to hold, continue to hold. But you can only hold for so long against a guy like Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
And, third, fourth quarter, Derrick Henry's carving up 5 to 7 yards rather than 2 to 3 yards, and then breaking off for a long 20, 25-yard run. But
Yeah.
I just think this Sunday, especially, like, let's allow time for JJ to get comfortable back there, doing the simple things, which we know he can do, right? We know he can do the simple things for us. And then, maybe as the game wears on, we get some splash plays in there because of the simplicity that we started with.
So how are you feeling? And we talk about shout out Scoja Soup in the building, man. Shout out Who Are You, my ninja in the building, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate you, man. So we talk about like running the ball, right? And we talk about how we should definitely focus on that. There's been a lot of chatter around Vikings community about Justin Jefferson, and people are trying to, read in between the lines,
Of
including
course.
myself. That's what we do as fans.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
why not? So it makes it fun, right? And is he happy? Is he gonna request this? Does he want out of Minnesota? We told you this was gonna happen, him and a young quarterback. But then you hear him
Yep.
talk, and you're like, well, hold up. That's not matching what you told me the
Yep.
vibes were. Like, he sounds like he's okay, and he accept that JJ McCarthy's young and knows the process. And you know what? I believe that is the case. Like,
Yeah.
I believe that he was sat down in his office personally, brought JJ up to the office with Quasi and KOC and said, look, this is our plan.
Yeah.
Now, look, before you sign this mega deal, just understand that we're going young. We're bringing JJ McCarthy will be your starting quarterback, and just understand he's 22. There's going to be a journey here, a process here. And I'm sure Justin Jefferson said, sign me up. It doesn't matter who throws me the ball. Like, I'm good. I'm going to produce and help this team win football games. And you know what? He's telling the truth. I think this is definitely not a JJ problem. Now, and I say Jettas, and I will say this: Justin Jefferson has had some drops that we haven't seen in the past, like
For sure.
since he's been a Minnesota Viking, to be honest with
Mm.
you. And I'm like, yo, what's going on? And I just don't get it, right?
Yeah.
I want to ask you this, K-Dub. I just don't get it. You look at Justin Jefferson, right? You look at Josh Metellus, and you could even put Brian O'Neill in there, right?
Yeah.
Why, when these players get their money, why is it always once they get their money, their deal, it seems like they take some type of step back? Now, Justin Jefferson's step back is different from a Josh Metellus' step back. You know what I'm saying? But like Josh Metellus, for example, and we'll switch to the defensive side of the ball here after we get off this Justin Jefferson topic. But why? I mean, I just don't get why that is. Like, get your money and then run. I mean, this is the perfect example, man. You get your money and then you're like, you fall off some type of way. I don't get that, bro. You want to know why? Because they're not hungry anymore.
Yeah.
They're just not hungry anymore.
Fair.
What is there to play for now?
Yeah.
You're You're a $40 million man a year. Like, I don't know.
I mean, Justin Jefferson is still the best wide receiver in the NFL. I mean,
Absolutely.
he is still the best wide receiver. I think some of it has to do with just like that consistency piece. When you're kind of unsure where that ball is going to come on different routes that you're running. If you're, running the same route, the ball is going to come at you in different ways. Sometimes it's going to be high, sometimes it's going to be low. And I mean, if we're honest, we've been spoiled with Justin Jefferson
Yeah.
because he has made the hardest catches look so simple in his career. And so I think now we're just kind of seeing a little bit of that reality of, okay, what happens when, a guy drops a Justin Jefferson drops a hard catch. Well, we get surprised because his whole career we've been seeing him making those catches. Does it have to do with, getting your money and you kind of take your foot off the gas a little bit? You're not hungry anymore. I don't think so. I mean, every year is another year on an NFL body. I still believe Justin Jefferson is fully capable of putting up 100-yard game after 100-yard game. I was just watching the highlights from I think it was his first Packers game when he had like 169 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I seen that too. I was watching that too. Yeah.
I mean, the guy is unbelievable.
Yes.
So yeah, I think some of it has to do with just that consistency at quarterback. Knowing that the ball is going to be where you think it's going to be every time you run the route. And then once again, I think maybe JJ is forcing it a little bit more to Justin Jefferson. I mean, the last 2 games, I think he had 12 targets, 10 targets, and, he's getting, 3 catches or 4 catches out of those. But what defined target is a catchable ball, a target? Is a great question. And then Justin Jefferson's, he's been in the league for 5 years now. 4 years now.
On year 6? I
Year
thought
6?
What?
Year
No,
5.
you're right.
Year
Year
5.
5. Yeah, year 5.
And so, he's getting tread on the tires or miles on the tires. And so, I still think he's very capable of it. And, Kwesi or KOC pulls him in the office and says, "Hey, we got this young quarterback. Look at the list of quarterbacks that Justin Jefferson has had success with." I mean, Nick Mullins, shout out Nick Mullins, great backup quarterback, but Jefferson put up a huge game against the Lions with him. Gosh, why can't I think of his name right now? The astronaut.
Josh Dobbs.
Yeah, Josh Dobbs. I mean, he's been successful with, I don't want to say bad quarterbacks because they're in the NFL, so there got to be decent quarterbacks. But I think we could see Justin Jefferson taking a step forward at the end of this season into next season with JJ as they get more comfortable. Yeah, you can go to a Wolves game and you can dap up on the sidelines, but really it's the reps and it's just the time that you're getting those reps in. And as we've continued to say, practice reps are different than game reps. So getting those continued game reps where Jefferson's getting more comfortable with McCarthy and vice versa. I don't see a problem there with Jefferson. I think Jefferson is going to go down as the second best wide receiver in Minnesota Vikings history behind Randy Moss.
The second best.
I mean, it might be a 1A.
I'm with you. Shout out Queen Mary, man. Shout out Queen Mary for my picture right here.
Love it.
Hey, Randy Moss for sure. I can't argue with that.
But yeah, I mean, maybe it'll be a 1A, 1B. But I still think we have a lot of time left with these 2 young guys. I still think Justin Jefferson is in his prime. We're just going to have to kind of wait and see, as we've been saying, on how this thing goes. But I think there's something to be said about reps and time with your guy, in-game time with your guy. Now,
I'll say, oh, go ahead, Kate. Go ahead, finish.
Well, I was just going to say, Metellus is another story. I don't know what is going on with that dude, but he has disappeared this season.
We'll get into the defense, but real quick I just want to touch on one thing about the Justin Jefferson. That is a scary stat, and I think we're probably on the same page. What you saw on X, where with those other quarterbacks, I mean, he was averaging 94 yards a game or something in that range, and now with JJ McCarthy, it's 54. I mean but it seems like he's getting more targets. With JJ McCarthy. So that's what's concerning when you look into it like that, because it's like, okay, you're getting thrown the ball a ton, but you're 40 yards off a game. And yes, he has a couple more drops than usual, like we talked about, but this has to go on JJ McCarthy's shoulders though, because there's a lot. I mean, I seen a couple throws, like even last year. I mean, not last year, but last week, right? On that third down where JJ McCarthy, there's this thing going around Twitter right now where it has the tree people walking on the stilts saying
Oh, yeah.
Vikings players, this is Vikings players at practice today trying to catch balls from JJ McCarthy. And
I
it's
did see
funny,
that.
I love the humor, right? Everybody's ragging on the kid. And that's cool. I still am a firm believer that we will get the last laugh. I'm
Mm.
gonna tell you right now. So we bookmarking a lot of the bull crap because we're gonna get the last laugh when it comes to 9. I just know it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I just see it and I know it.
But
He's just like that.
I also think, and I know Darren has been pretty heavy on this throughout the season on the podcast on the Purple Dopes, is like these veteran receivers got to pick up our rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
So when you have guys dropping the ball on third down, that is just killer to a rookie quarterback's confidence, and it's killer to your drive. I mean, it just puts your defense right back on the field. So, last game, Addison had 2 drops. Jefferson had that drop over the middle, which it was a tough catch, but it was a Jefferson catch. I
Yeah.
feel like that's a ball he pulls down usually. Hawkinson drops a ball on third down there. Like these veteran guys, even though our rookie quarterback is struggling, they got to pick up to him when he gets him the ball. Like when he puts the ball in a spot they can catch it, you got to snag it. That touchdown that he weaved in there to Jefferson against the Ravens in the end zone. Remember that
Yeah.
one? I mean, it was a tight window, but we got to make that catch, dude. Like we got to
Yeah.
have that ball. Those are
You
just
gotta
balls
have
you
it.
got to have.
Yeah.
So I said something the other day, like on X. I just said like I feel like so many things haven't gone the Vikings' way this season. Like last year, we led the league in turnovers. This year, we don't have a turnover in the last 5 games, I think. And it's like, but balls are getting tipped, but we're not coming down with it for the interception. Zay Flowers literally dribbles the ball. I mean, it fell out of his hands and it just bounced right back up to him. Caleb Williams last week kicks that ball 15 yards down there, and the Bears wide receiver loops back
Yeah.
around and somehow gets like, we're just not getting the ball bouncing our way. And
Yeah.
you got to have that to be a winning football team in the NFL. Yes, you have to be talented. Yes, you have to be good, but the bounces have to go your way. And
Yeah.
2 touchdowns getting overturned there on the Hawkinson catch, on the Isaiah Rodgers, pick 6, which the game against the Chargers, would it have made a difference? Would it not? I don't know, but that's a momentum shift if we can get a pick 6 on the first drive, but gets overturned and then Herbert goes down and runs a 94-yard drive for a touchdown. It's like, I just feel like this season, a lot of things haven't went our way and the ball has bounced away from us rather than towards us. It kind of reminds me of that. I think 2 years ago with Kirk, it was Kirk's season. I think before the Achilles, where it was like the first, we started out 0-4, but they were
Yeah.
like, we were fumbling the ball on kickoffs. We
Yeah. A
lost
bunch of
on
fumbles. Yep.
we
Yep.
lost on random field goals. It was just
Yep.
like, just seems like I just feel like this team needs to get some bounces to go its way to be
Yeah.
really good. I think they're a good team, but to be really good, we got to trust that the football gods are gonna, throw us a little love every now and again. And they just haven't. We just
They
hasn't
just
went our
haven't.
way.
The defense in general just hasn't been what we kind of know it to be. Now, overall, I think they're playing decent. I
Oh,
think
I
the
think,
defense
yeah,
is playing really good. They're keeping
yeah.
us in games
They're,
because
they're
this offense ain't doing it. I'll tell you
they're the
that,
only
man.
they're the only reason that games are close right now.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
I
but
said, but the turnover, but like
exactly,
you said, the turnovers aren't happening.
yes.
Last year, I mean, we were getting picks and
Oh,
fumbles and it was, I mean, everything. It was just a lot of cheering going on with the defense. Last year, K Dub, I had the feeling to where when our defense went out on the field, I felt like every single
oh yeah,
series there was going to be something happen because I
yes,
just had that much. I just
for
had that
sure.
much to just, I just knew that our
Yeah,
defense was going to make a play regardless. It didn't matter. I'm like, our defense, I'm okay with it being on the field. A lot of years, I don't feel like that. I'm like,
oh
all
yeah.
day. Here go the
Well,
defense. We're going to at least give up 3 at the least.
oh yeah, I mean, think about like when that Lions game at home last year, where we get that fumble and take it back, and change
Yeah,
the whole,
Ivan Pace.
change the
Yep.
whole, yeah, change the whole momentum of the game. It's like those plays were almost expected with last year's defense,
Yeah.
where this year, when our defense is on the field, it's almost like, all right, it's either going to be a 3-point drive or a 7-point drive.
Yeah.
Not that our defense is playing bad, because I mean, shoot, we held the Ravens to field goals, we held the Bears to field goals, but like we're not getting the ball back for our offense. but our offense isn't doing any favors, forcing the defense to continue to make stop after stop after stop as well.
Yeah, our defense definitely has to step up. Speaking of that, let's talk about the Josh Metellus thing. I spoke on something last night about Jay Ward, and it's weird because
I saw that.
Monday I was thinking about Jay Ward to myself without even talking about it on YouTube, and I'm just sitting there looking at some stuff, and I'm like, I remember his rookie year in preseason, after watching that game against the Cardinals, and I think the following game, he ended up having like an interception or something too in that preseason game. And I'm like, yo, this dude, Jay Ward, he might be something. He might be all right. And he's versatile coming out of LSU. We brought him in to kind of like how when Spillman brought Cam Bynum in, it was one of those guys that can play nickel, but
Yeah.
also he's a safety. I mean, you can move him around. He's
Yeah, a
versatile,
little bit of
right?
a hybrid.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
little hybrid type of deal. We brought him in. So and then I see him against the Bears, and he's flashing. Like
Mm.
like when he was out there, I said this in my video, you knew he was out there.
Yeah.
Like Theo Jackson, I mean, we can start there. I mean, obviously keep Metellus out there, but Theo Jackson, to me, I'm telling you right now, and this is no joke, y'all. Now that I think about it, just think back. I've been watching the Minnesota Vikings this whole year, and I'm telling you right now, I totally forget that Theo Jackson is even on the defense. Like, I don't even see, like,
100%.
now when I'm like, right now, I can even think back to Sunday, and I'm thinking like, dang, where did I see 26 at? Like, and I'm telling you, I can't.
I can't
Like,
either.
that's the
Yeah.
facts, bruh. Like,
Mm.
I just can't think about it. I don't know. I just don't know. So, and hey, your boy, and I'm gonna tell you the difference is, and what I think it is, Jay Ward's gonna be just like a Josh Metellus, somebody who's hungry.
Yeah.
He's hungry. That's the difference. You need players, like young players that first. Hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Can you still hear me, K-Dub?
I got you. You just came back. Is it just me? Oh, I see a Miles Price in there. Yeah.
All right, sorry, y'all. My bad. My bad, K-Dub.
There we
Can you hear
go.
me?
There we go.
All right, yeah. Sorry, that's my fault, y'all. That is not K-Dub. That is Mike Cameron over there acting crazy. All right, but he said false start. But yeah, so I say that I was saying where I was at with that was, Jay Ward is somebody he's hungry. And I think
Yeah.
that's what we need. We need some young players that are hungry for a contract, because when players are hungry for a contract, they play at a different level. Again, we go back to what we talked about. Once they get that money, they've accomplished their goal, and maybe they don't
Mm.
intentionally do it, but I think just naturally they may feel like because it takes a different type of a dog to
Yeah.
even after getting to your ultimate goal where you get that contract and your family is set forever, like a Justin Jefferson and even a Josh Metellus. I mean, $12
Yeah.
million a year isn't nothing to just sniff at. Like, that's, I mean, your family's good, right?
Yeah.
Do you still have that drive to play football though at a high level? That's the question.
It's just, I think it's a great question, but guys get hungry, they get paid, and then, but they got to get paid. They got to get paid to get hungry. It's just like it's a tough one, chicken or the egg. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Because a guy like Metellus, we know his skill set, we know what he brings. He's so versatile. He's such a hybrid guy. Can really play anywhere on the defensive side of the ball. But you're right. You get that check, and then things change. I don't know if it's get more concerned about the I don't know, the nickels and dimes of life. I'm not sure. Rather than those guys who are just out there just to, go after it, get hungry, get fed. Yeah, it's tricky, man.
North said, "Rap believed that you loved Okuda. Stay away from the DBs." I did. It's okay, Dub. I was pushing for Okuda. You know,
Yeah.
I seen something in him. I'm like, you know what? And this wasn't me going and doing no film reviews or nothing like that. It was just one of those deals where I'm like, yo, this dude has to be good.
Yeah.
Being that he was a third overall pick in a draft. He
Same thought.
played for Ohio State, and I'm
Same
like
thought.
pairing him up. If you go watch his highlights and his stuff in college,
Yeah.
you don't even have to watch his film because everybody would tell you going into that draft that Jeff Okuda was out of this world when it came to cornerback. You would think that he
Yeah.
was going to be the next Deion Sanders generational
Let's go.
corner. And, you know, not only did fans feel like that, but all the media and all the draft analysts, everybody had him as a top 5 pick, right? So I'm thinking to myself, okay, he got in the NFL and it didn't work,
Yeah.
right? Damn it. Did my thing turn off again? Holy. Can you hear me though, K-Dub?
I can hear you. I can't see you though.
Okay. All right. Man, hold on. Sorry, man. What the hell? Hold on, y'all. Hold on, K-Dub. I'll get y'all. All right, I think we're good. We're really good now. My bad, y'all.
All right,
Man.
man.
My camera just has a mind of his own right now. You know what I'm saying? I think I need to get a new one, maybe. But what hold on. What was I? Who was I talking to? Who was I? Jeff Okuda, right?
Jeff Okuda.
And
Second coming to Deion Sanders.
Yeah, second coming to Deion Sanders. That's what people had him graded.
Third overall pick.
Yeah. And I'm thinking like, okay, you get with Brian Flores. You know what I mean? You get with Brian Flores and you have to be you gotta be good, right? Like Brian Flores, he has to find something in you. You know what I mean? If nobody else can do it, Brian Flores can do it. And you know what? It just, so far, not so good. What'd you think of Okuda?
No, I was in the same boat you were. I mean, I felt like it's the same thought I had with Sam Darnold. You know, Sam Darnold was a number 3 pick as well. So in my mind, you just think there's got to be something there with a guy who goes that high in the draft. And my thought is always they just got in a bad system. They're not a bad player, just got in a bad system. But with Okuda, it's I'm not sure on that one. We might have missed the boat.
Yeah, man. It's crazy, man. I don't understand what's going on with Okuda, man. And now I think he should be out of concussion protocol.
Yeah.
Now, but yeah. So real quick, K-Dub, man, we've been on for an hour. See, you always have fun. Me and K-Dub were backstage like, hey, what's your timeline? He's like, shoot, I'm cool. I'm like, let's try to keep it around 45 to an hour. But you know, this is when you can tell. Like when you love this team and talking Vikings football, I mean, time just freaking flies by. Shout out everybody in the building. Shout out Dylan. I see you, man. He said production quality. Hey, facts. Hey, you know, R.A. Peasy, man. I be trying to give y'all good quality, but sometimes you got to build the plane while you're in the air. Y'all know how I go, man. I start to fumbling. Oh, audio ain't working. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. This is that raw and authentic stuff right here. That's why we love why we love the YouTube content creators and not the ESPNs, man. You get to really go through all of it. You know what I'm saying?
See it in real life, man.
Yeah. So let me ask you, let's before we end it, I do want to kind of touch on just a couple more things like as going into the Packers game. What are your keys to victory for the Vikings beating the Green Bay Packers? Like what do the Vikings have to do to walk out of Lambeau with a dub?
Well, before we get into the Packers game, I think we got to highlight. I mean, Darren and I highlight this guy every single week.
Yeah.
Will the Thrill, is he just
Will
not
the Thrill, man?
Is he not the kicker that the Vikings have deserved for so many years? Like, I mean, of all these struggles that we've had this season, the fact that our kicker is consistently making kicks and every time he goes out there, you're confident, unless there's a wire hanging down from the rafters, like. You are confident that the man is going to do what he's going to do out there. So I just want to shout out Will the Thrill a little bit there.
Shout out Will the Thrill, man. Hold on.
I just lost you again. You got no SD.
Hold on. I got you. Don't worry about it. You can hear me. I'm finna put it on my my webcam for a minute.
There we go.
Hey, look, let's go, man. You know what I'm saying? This ain't going nowhere. This gonna work. All right. So Will the Thrill. No, shout out to Will the Thrill, bro. Like Will the Thrill, to be honest with you, last year, K Dub, I was like, man, listen. Was it last year when he got hurt? Yeah, last year when
Last
he
year
when he
got
had
hurt.
that
That was, but
injury.
he was perfect before that, like, and then he got hurt and then he came back. Yeah.
But he came back, but I feel like there was a little bit of struggle going on at
Agree.
some point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Agree.
I'm like, yo, I don't know if I can buy into this dude. Like when we talking Will the Thrill, we gotta leave the thrill out of it for right now. And the whole community was on board with that for a little bit. But I'm gonna tell you right now, he earned his thrill back. Yes,
Absolutely.
he did, man. Shout out to Will the Thrill. He earned it back, man. That dude, he's playing some good football, man. He is one of the bright spots on this team.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I saw somebody shout out Jalen Naylor. I think Jalen Naylor is arguably the best wide receiver 3 in the NFL. I mean, that guy consistently game after game has been playing well. But when you look at
Yeah.
the struggles that the Vikings have had all year long,
Yeah.
when Will the Thrill steps on the field, that's good. Like
Yeah.
it's good. Even when he missed that kick in London that hit the wire, when it jetted right,
Mhm.
I said to my son watching the game, I was, West Coast, I was up at 6:30 watching the game, and I was like, that didn't look right. And
Yeah.
in my mind, I just had a weird spin on it or something. But I mean, to me, the guy is just the kicker we've been hoping for years as Minnesota Vikings fans. And the fact that we can be confidently saying we trust him, like that's a win for the Minnesota Vikings fandom.
No, absolutely, man. Shout out Will the Thrill again, man. Let's
Yeah.
go, man.
But
So
Packers
yeah,
game. Let's
yeah,
get let's
yeah.
get to the
Packers
Packers
game,
game.
man. Let's get to it.
I mean, I think it's what I think Darren, my partner's been saying week after week. Like we have to play turnover-free football.
Yeah.
Like we have to control. We have to either win the turnover battle or just go a tie at 0-0 on the turnover battle. But like that just kills our offense. And
Mhm.
the fact that it's happening consistently the last couple games, I mean, it's just creating short fields for your defense is no help at all. We know that's just going to kill our defense. Teams are going to get 3 to 7 on that every single time. So playing turnover free football, I would like to see us lean on the run a little bit more than we have. It would be nice to see Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason both get in the end zone in that game. And then, man, I just think simpler passes for JJ. The home runs are great, but if we get Justin Jefferson 10 targets, let's get him 8 catches. And those 8 catches can be 10 to 15 yarders. But
Yeah.
let's let McCarthy find his comfort in Lambeau Field with shorter passes. And then, maybe as the game wears up, KOC can dial up a big one for Addison or Naylor. But yeah, and then, man, TJ Hawkinson, we got to get him. We
Oh
got to get
man.
him catching the ball. Like, I don't know what's going on here. Once again, you said it earlier, guys get paid and things change, but man, for the amount of money he's making, we really need to make sure he's JJ's safety net out there. So I'm predicting a Vikings win.
Yeah.
I think
As always.
I think
As
so.
always.
I think so because they
Saying?
they have to win. Like we
Yeah.
have no other options right now. And we've talked a lot about KOC. And this is the first season where KOC has really faced true adversity. Last year, he was spoiled a little bit with Darnold. The year before that, with Kurt's Achilles, that was just kind of, makeshift, whatever. The year before that, where we were winning every game by, 3 points at the buzzer. But this year, right, this is some adversity for him. And we
Yeah.
need to see KOC come out, coach a great game. I thought last game that he had a decent, play calling game, but I want to see him come out this game and good play calling game with our playmakers making plays. What about
Nah,
you? What do you got?
I'm a man. We on the same page, K Dub, man. You talk my language, man. When it comes to Vikings, man, I'm gonna tell you right now. I think I agree. One thing I don't want to hear though is Kevin O'Connell when we talk short passes, quick
Mm,
passes, whatever you want to put the category on it, put the category on it. But what I don't want to hear is that being substituted for running the football.
yeah.
That's one thing that I'm just not going to allow Kevin O'Connell to get away with without criticizing
Mm,
him.
yeah.
I don't
100%.
want to hear in the post game if it comes down to us, not walking out of Lambeau with a victory because we didn't run the ball enough, saying, "Well, we were throwing the screens, which we call an extension to the run game." bro, knock it
Yeah.
off. Run the
Mm.
football. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
100%.
Run the foot I formation. I don't care what you got to do.
Power eye, let's go.
But an actual handoff where JJ McCarthy has the ball and then he hands it to somebody, not
Yeah.
not throwing it, you know what I mean, backwards and calling that a extension to the run. No, bruh. I'm not dealing with it. I think we need to make sure we're running the football. I mean, this has been what I've been calling for, K Dub, the past, I don't know, 3, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
I think, well, actually, really, I think it started. Yeah, it started at the Chargers Thursday night. Thursday,
Mm.
right? Leading into that Thursday night game,
Yeah.
my whole outlook was okay, run the football. Listen, at the beginning of the season, I was perfectly fine with, hey, Kevin O'Connell, do Kevin O'Connell things.
Yeah.
And I know, that means that you're gonna throw the football an awful lot. And that's
Yeah.
cool. I mean, it's a new season. Let's see what you cooked up. I mean, you might have went back to the
Mm.
drawing board because if it was anything like the game you mentioned earlier in the show, K Dub, the Justin Jefferson's first game with
Mm.
Kevin O'Connell, and when we spanked Green Bay up and
Yeah.
down the field at the bank. I mean, that is what you call, you know, a work of art. The
Yes.
way all the receivers were wide open. I'm talking about every receiver in that game, man. KOC, I'm like, yo, we got us a goddamn head coach, man. He calling the plays. I mean, these receivers are wide open. The schemes, there's a ton of motion. That's
Yeah.
another thing that I feel like I haven't been seeing like we saw in that year specifically, K Dub, was
Mhm.
I feel like we had a lot of motion going on. There was a lot of
Yeah.
movement pre-snap, which
True.
I liked, and I feel like we don't see that as much anymore, man. It's not as I don't know why, but we just don't. So,
Yeah.
but I want to see us run the ball. JJ McCarthy, obviously, the most important thing with him is to protect the football.
Yeah.
I think we've had multiple games now with JJ McCarthy where he has multiple turnovers.
Yeah.
And, at some point we have to put blame on him. Like, you're costing us these ball games now,
Hmm.
especially when they're ending in one possession.
Yeah.
It's one thing if we're getting blown out, but when we're losing a game by 3 points, 2 points, even 6 points, it's like, okay, if you wouldn't have turned that ball over in the red zone, I mean, shoot,
Well,
this is a win.
yeah, you throw that, I mean, that pick he threw last game, to Addison, that ball in the end zone, we're on the 30-yard line at that point. We know Will the Thrill's good from there. So, like,
Absolutely.
you're turning around, you're costing your team, and then they're going down and scoring, so it's like a 10-point swing. I mean, those are tough.
Yeah. Yeah. So he has to protect the football. And I think that plays into I'm not going to put everything on him when it comes to that. We got, like you said, Kevin O'Connell needs to make sure he's calling the right offense to
Yeah.
put him in the right situations where he can protect the football.
Yeah.
One thing I said about Kevin O'Connell trusting JJ too much, I also said I think JJ trusts Kevin O'Connell too much because, I pay attention to detail. And
Mm.
I don't know if you remember, but I'm sure you do, when the preseason was on this year. One of the best segments was when they had Kevin O'Connell mic'd up while somebody else was calling the plays. And he was able to sit here and say, oh, yeah, Max Brosmer, so-and-so should be open down the field right here. This is going to
Mhm.
be a bomb, guys. Get ready, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
So, and being a KOC supporter, I looked and listened to tendencies that I can use while I'm watching him now, and then how I can make certain evaluations and opinions, right?
Hmm.
And my thing is this. I know that microphone in JJ's ear is on until 15 seconds is left on that play clock. Now, and this can probably go into why we're seeing a lot of 18 forcing the ball to 18 is Kevin O'Connell will call the play in JJ's ear and then also say, hey, just know 18 is probably going to be open here.
Yeah.
Now, okay, yes, you want to
Mm.
tell your young player,
Yeah.
this play should work. This play is going to work. Be confident that the play call you're giving him is going to work.
Yeah.
But I think it also could be a backfire because he hears his coach saying that. And no matter if the player is fully covered and it shouldn't be the throw, he's throwing it there
Yeah.
because his coach told him with
Yep.
confidence in his
Yep.
ear 15 seconds ago that, hey, this is it. They're lined up
Sure.
perfect for this play to work. So, hey, 18 is going to be open right here, about 20 yards downfield.
Hmm.
It takes away from him wanting to go through his reads and
Yes.
actually get the actual
Yeah.
open player. And it's, I mean, I think there's a lot. I mean, and we can get deep into that, but that's something too. I think KOC, man,
Yeah, and that's the difference between a rookie. I mean, JJ McCarthy is a rookie this year. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
between a rookie quarterback, I mean, he can do that to Sam Darnold because
Right.
Sam Darnold's, played, 60 to 100 NFL games. So he
Right.
understands, yeah, this guy's saying this, but I can also trust my reads, where I don't know that JJ trusts his reads 100%. Like
Yeah.
you were saying, he more trusts Kevin O'Connell's, counsel and wisdom and advice as far as when he's in his ear. So
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely hear that, and I would agree with you on that one. I think there's maybe a little too much trust on both sides when it comes to this, and yeah, we'll just see.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
real quick, what do you expect from the defense?
You know, Blind Flores, he knows LaFleur, man. Like
Yeah,
he does.
he does.
He has LaFleur's number, and it's shown, last 2 years anyway. So I expect our defense to really, show up at Lambeau. I think Jordan Love is a great game manager, and I think Flores has a way to disrupt game managers. So I think that Flores will have some things dialed up that maybe Jordan Love's not ready for. And for me, when it comes to Brian Flores, get him to the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Keep the game close to the fourth quarter, and Brian Flores is going to come with something that the Packers aren't ready for, just like he did last year at the bank in the fourth quarter. I mean, I just think that Flores knows the tendencies, so
Yeah.
you got to trust him on that. But we got to keep the game close in order to let him get to the fourth quarter to do his thing.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
100% agree.
But I mean, I will say this: Van Ginkel and Cashman, dude,
Yeah,
those guys are the real deal, man. The fact we got those
absolutely.
guys on our team, I mean, I love watching Van
What's
Ginkel
your
out
take
there.
on Dallas Turner? I mean, how are you feeling as a Vikings fan, rooting
Man,
on Dallas Turner?
last week I was super impressed. I thought he obviously played his best game of the season last year. He needed to step into a role as far as playing more snaps, and yeah, I was really excited. I mean, there were some things earlier in the season, just some immaturity stuff that I didn't really love, but he's still young, and I
Yeah.
forget
Yeah.
that sometimes because. And probably like you, man, I started watching these Vikings when I was 9 years old. And it's like
Yeah.
sometimes my brain still goes there and I forget that I'm 40 years old now. And it's like
Yeah.
these guys are kids. These guys are, 20 to 25 years old. So got
Yeah.
to give them some grace on that. But I do like Turner. I think he's really a strong defensive player. And I think he's going to be good for us for several years in the future.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. All right, before I let you get out of here, K Dub, score prediction. Where you got us at?
Man, you had me thinking there. Man, so my heart right now.
Yeah,
So the dope in me right now. I
let's
would
go.
love to see Will the Thrill get a walk off at Lambeau. So I would
Okay.
love to see a 24-21 score.
Yeah.
But I think our offense is going to show up. So I'm going to go 27-17 Vikings. I think we're going to win by 10 in Lambeau.
Let's go. Hey, that sounds good to me. And you got a point because the Packers have been struggling, in my opinion, to put points up. I
Yeah,
mean, their offense
absolutely.
looks horrible. With the way our defense plays, I can definitely see us holding them off to about 17 points. And 27 points for the Minnesota Vikings to put up right now seems like a stretch, but I have, again, going into the game, I'm always going to have a ton of confidence in our team,
Yeah.
man. I mean, we have the players, man. Like, I mean,
At
as a fan, and I
some
know
point,
it's
at
easy to
some
say,
point.
like, oh, well, you guys are fans of the team. Of course, you're going to say that. But, like, there's
No.
teams out there where you can really sit back and say, okay, they don't have the players.
Yeah,
Like, they don't.
100%.
And the Vikings have the personnel.
Yeah.
We have the personnel, man. We have to be able to put this together, man. If we can put this together, I mean, it's not out of the realm that we can knock off the next 6 games, man. And I know that sounds like purple Kool-Aid sipping, and maybe it is,
Hey,
but
man, get the
it's
hopes
a
in there.
fact.
Get
Let's
the
go,
hopes
man.
in
Hey, I
there.
need one of them shirts too, by
Yeah,
the way,
okay.
man.
I'll
I
I'll
need
do what
one.
I can. I'll do what I can. I
Yeah,
know a couple
yeah,
people.
man. Yeah, man. I like those
Uh,
shirts, man. Shout out to the shirts, man.
but
Yeah,
I think you're right, man. I think that at some point the Ferrari has got to get loose,
yeah,
and we're just waiting on it. And every game, I just feel like I continue to wait for this offense to get going because we know what they're capable of. I mean,
yeah,
we have playmakers, we have our line, we have guys out there that can do this, and
yeah.
it's just a matter of when. And I just keep waiting. I'm sitting at the edge of my seat every week, just like, come on, offense, come on, offense, and then. Yeah, it takes to the fourth quarter to get some of that going. So hopefully we can start it out right. But I think last week, the Giants, showed the Packers are vulnerable. I think Singletary had 2 TDs last week rushing. So I hope KOC takes note of that as far as like how the Giants were able to score. And then shoot against the Eagles. I mean, goodness gracious, they couldn't do anything with the ball. So I'm always hopeful, man. And I just am always hopeful with these Vikings, regardless of what has happened in the past. I'm always going to be hopeful that they're going to turn it around. And I think this week is a great week to do that in Lambeau.
Absolutely, man. Before you get out of here, K-Dub, let the people know again where to follow you on X, Instagram, TikTok, where to subscribe on YouTube. It is in the title, everybody, but I'll let K-Dub kind of touch on that real quick, man.
Absolutely, man. Well, number one, I appreciate you having me on the show, man. This has been a blast. Like you were saying, it's like when Vikings fans get together, we can talk for hours. And we did. I mean, we talked for an hour and 21 minutes. So, but yeah, the Purple Dopes with Hopes podcast, we drop episodes every Tuesday morning. We are on YouTube, Purple Dopes with Hopes podcast, as well as Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon. You can also check me out on my personal X account at Mr. K-Dub, all one word there. And then Darren is Darren. Purple Dopes _DB is Darren on X as well. So he's not as active as I am on X, but he does have an X account there. And then that's it. I don't do Instagram or TikTok or any of those other ones, man. They're too confusing for me. So I just stay at my home base of X and YouTube.
Yeah, man. Well, and look, man, I had a great time, man, having you on the show. K-Dub, man, appreciate you. This isn't going to be the last time for sure. We will continue to build this relationship, man. You know, I want to stay in touch with you, bro. So, and figure out a way to get us some of them shirts, man. We need some of them Purple Dope Hopes, man. Let's get it. All right, man. Hey, I appreciate you, K-Dub, and we'll be talking soon, bro.
All right, man. Skol, Vikings.
Skol, baby. Let's go. Shout out K-Dub, man. I need y'all to stay on. Let's stay on for a second, man. Don't get off yet, Purple Gang. We gotta let's touch bases real quick. Shout out to K-Dub, man. You know, that was a great show, but give me one second, man. I think we're gonna have Carl. I'm gonna reach out to Carl, man. Let's see if Carl want to call in. Anybody want to hear from Carl, man? Let's see what Carl's doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. Let's reach out to Carl, but 1 second. Hold on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. Hold on. Let's get let me text Carl. Carl for president. Yeah, we're gonna get Carl to call in real quick, man. You know, shout out K-Dub. I didn't want to have Carl call in while K-Dub was on. You know, so we'll get him the call now. Let me text our boy real quick. Let's see if he's available. He might even be available. I don't know. Let me shoot him a text and see if he's even available first. Let's hear from Carl. Let's see what Carl thinks about Lambeau. Because real quick, I will be out of town starting tomorrow. I'll be in Virginia until Thanksgiving Day, really. So I'll be going live. I'll be going live and we'll be doing stuff, but it won't be in the crib at the studio here. So, you know, be expected to see me, but I may be in the car. I may be sitting at a park. I don't know. I'm gonna be somewhere. Yeah, we getting some content popping though. You know, I'm going to Virginia to visit some family, and I'll be spending the next 6-7 days out there, man. So, but hey, the content must go on, and the Vikingism must go on. So just make sure you got your notification bells on. We'll see some vertical lives. This is gonna be my opportunity to do some vertical lives though, because I've wanted to do the vertical live thing. I think you guys can send like gifts and stuff. I don't know if it costs money or not, but you know, I kind of want to see how that works. Oh, hold on, Carl's calling. Carl.
Hey, feller, rap. How you doing there, feller?
I'm doing good, Carl, man. Nice to hear from you, man. Let's go. I didn't know if you would be available tonight. So I was, I was texting you like, wonder if Carl's up tonight, man.
I I always try to catch your show when I'm not working in the garage. Hmm.
Yeah, man. How you feeling, Carl? Like we need some we need some motivation, man. The Vikings nation is kind of down in the dumps right now.
Yeah. Well, first, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that movie, The Program? It's a football movie.
Oh, I suck with movies. No, I haven't.
You ain't seen that? Okay. Well, it's with the feller quarterback named Joe Cade and a running back named Darnell. I just think that. Well, I listened to your what they call that, an outro of your music
Outro.
after your show.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The outro of the show. Yep, yep.
Yeah, yeah. I thought you was paying homage to that part of the movie where the quarterback goes in the group huddle there. It's not a group hug; it's a huddle. I heard, but that quarterback Joe Kane says, "Let's put the women and children to bed and go looking for dinner." Hmm.
Oh, okay.
Well, I thought that's what you was paying homage to on your outro after the video. We ain't taking no loss. We winning,
Yeah.
undefeated. What's for dinner?
shout out, shout out to Carl, man. Yeah, no, you know what? Maybe it was. Maybe I was paying homage to that. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like, thinking
I'm
about it.
not rap. I'm not sure. By the way, for everybody out there, this is Carl. Carl Childress. No
Yeah.
relation to your former coach Brad Childress, but anyway, I got to know rap. I got to know. It sounds like what's for dinner, or is it check the chicken? What is it? I need to know. I got to know.
Is it what's for dinner or check the chicken?
We ain't taking no loss. We winning, undefeated. Check the chicken, or is it what's for dinner?
Uh, what's for dinner?
What's for dinner? Okay, I thought so. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. Thank you.
Carl,
I
there's a
just had,
question. Somebody
I
asked,
had to
what's your
know
favorite cheese?
my favorite what
Your favorite cheese. What's your favorite cheese?
cheese.
Yeah, cheese. What's your favorite cheese? Like type of cheese? Do you have a favorite type of do you eat cheese?
I like me some pepper jack. Hmm.
Mm. Okay. All right. There you go. It was a random. Well, Carl, we play a team called the Packers this week on Sunday, and they are considered to be cheeseheads,
Hmm.
So that's why,
I heard of that. I
yeah,
heard that.
yeah, they're cheeseheads. So we got to pick out our favorite cheese because we got to make sure we're eating cheese in the post game show. We love cheese after the game. We got to have the cheese and the wine. It goes together. Perfect.
Mhm. Well, you know what? I got something for that. You know, after watching that last game, mm,
Mhm.
it, watching this Vikings team the way they played, it's like making love to a cheese grater. You know, it's amusing, possibly amusing, but for the most part, painful.
Yeah, that sounds pretty painful. I ain't gonna lie to you. Wow. Yeah, no, I don't know if we can do that, Carl. But you're right, though. I mean, you have a point. Watching this team, like it kind of does feel like that for sure. If you know what
But
I mean.
uh, I got some purple positivity for you.
Okay, yeah, we need that right now, Carl. Come on with it. We need purple positivity.
There was no yellow snot rags in the first quarter.
No yellow snot rags in the first quarter. Yep. Okay. No
No,
penalties.
sir.
Yeah.
No, sir. There was none.
Okay.
But I got another question for you.
Yes, sir.
Why does this B flow feller? Why does he play a prevent defense? Don't he know that the offense guy KOC already plays that on offense?
Yeah, playing prevent on defense and offense is
Yeah,
diabolical. Yeah.
mm,
I don't know
that's
why. I don't
right.
know why he does it. I don't know why he does it, Carl. We have a ton of questions about the coaching on this football team. You know, we're going through it right now. It's kind of tough. It's kind of tough.
I got to tell you, Rap. It's something private, but it's been bothering me.
Okay.
I had me. Yeah, this is speaking of last game against those Chicago Bears. I just I thought back one day. I I think I might have had me a more entertaining time battling a bowel movement after a Taco Bell.
Wow, really, Carl? That's what it is?
Yeah, you know me, feller. I likes me some potted meat and them French fried taters, but that Taco Bell get you.
So I have a question for you, Carl, because I seen something with you the other day while I was searching some stuff, right? And I seen that you walked in a house and you saw your dad, but he didn't want to claim you though. He said that you're not his son and told you to get up out of there. You know what I'm talking about? You remember that?
Yes, sir.
Do you know was that your pops for real?
He don't know that.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, he do know that.
Oh,
But
okay.
I figured I'd save him the trouble. I just let him live the rest of his life out as a poor, miserable piece of garbage.
Okay.
Just, just like a Green Bay fan.
Yeah, just like a Green Bay fan, you know? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Just like a Green Bay fan. I
There,
like that. there's
there's no need to take that feller out. He's swimming in the swamp of his own doo doo.
Let's go. Yeah. So how do you feel about us playing the Packers? What's your predictions on the Vikings playing the Packers, Carl? What you got us doing?
Well, I figure this, Rap. I got to say this here for all the fellers and lady fellers out there. As long as them receivers go down the field and they don't drop more balls than a litter of 8-week-old puppies, I think we might be all right.
Do you know about our quarterback?
What?
Do you know who our quarterback is for the Minnesota Vikings? The young
That
guy?
that's that feller. That's that JJ feller.
Yeah, do you like him? You think he'll be all right? Because we need it right now. I mean, a lot of people are like hating on the kid. They don't think he's going to be good. I mean, there's a lot of negativity surrounding his name right now. So, I mean, you got any positive takes you can give us, man, that we can really put in our pocket and hold on to?
Let me tell you something, feller. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. I community they put me in the nervous hospital for taking my sling blade and taking somebody, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I've been in a damn nervous hospital more years than that little boy been alive. I think people need to relax. That boy, he's gonna be fine, I think.
Okay. Okay. See there, that's what we need. Even Carl knows he's gonna be fine. Y'all hear that? Let's
He's
go.
young. He's young. Anybody who ever been through anything in life has been through all kinds of hell. And if you don't give that boy a chance, somebody else will.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, he's staying with us. He's staying with us for sure. He's staying with us, man. Shout out Delton in the building. I see you. Del was good with you, man. Let's go. I see y'all, man. Appreciate y'all tapping in, man. Y'all just in time, man. Carl's giving us some purple positivity before we get up
No,
out of here tonight.
Dalton there. Hey, Dalton, that F-bomb feller. I like that boy.
Yeah, that's Del. Yeah, Delton's the F bomb guy. Yep.
That's right. I like that boy.
He's passionate Vikings.
There, there's another thing about that last game that bugged me.
What is it?
You remember that Tubas fella?
Tubas. Yeah, Tubas. Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, that boy. He's talking about stage 2 and stage 3 or this and that.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. Stage 2 fan, stage 3 fan. Yeah, I remember. He said I'm stage 2, I think.
Yeah. Well, that don't sound good for nobody because that sounds like you're rooting for cancer.
It does, man. F cancer. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
That's right. That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure, man. Shout out. Somebody said Leatherface. No, it's Carl. His name's Carl. Let's go. Who's that? Fish? Is that Fish in the chat, man? Shout out Fish if that's you in the chat, man. This Carl. All right, so Carl, can you leave us with a score prediction?
Well, I tell you about the score prediction. We talked about this the other day, didn't we?
Yeah, I think you touched on it. Yeah, but did we do it on this? I don't think we did it on Packers, but yeah.
Well, I could tell you the score when the game's over.
Oh yeah, when the game's over. That's right. You give us the score prediction when the game's over, and you tell us okay, yeah.
That's right.
So, what player is going to do good? Can you tell us that before the game, or do you tell us that when the game's over too?
Well, personally, I think they teach that number 1 feller out in green. What's his name? They traded a boatload for that feller who's got a bad back. He's on the defense. He's on the defensive end. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh yeah. Michael Parsons. Yeah.
That boy's fast, but he's weak. I can see it.
Weak as hell. Yeah, no, fact. Shout out Keith, man. I see you, bro. Appreciate you.
I see the Vikings run right at that boy.
Yeah. No, facts. We gotta make sure we expose them. We gotta expose them, man. Well, I'm excited, Carl, man. I think Vikings fans are excited. We're ready to go get this dub. We're ready to go get this dub. Shout out Luff with the FTP in the chat, man. FTPs in the chat. You already know what time it is, man. The pep rally may look a little different this week, y'all, due to the fact that I will be on the road, man. I'll be traveling, so I won't be home. I'd love to talk to Carl. Hey, look, you talking to him now. He's on the phone.
Lord, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you now.
Yeah, tell him, Carl. You talking to you now.
That's right.
But Carl,
are you hearing me or are you listening to me? That's the big question.
And what's the other thing Carl says where it's like more play or less say more play, or what is it?
I said stop saying and start playing.
Stop saying and start playing, man. Like, it's facts. We living and dying by that over here.
Maybe you need to get a shirt made of that, rap.
I'm telling you, we might even turn that into some merch, man.
That's right.
Yeah, for sure, man. Straight up. We got to turn that into some merch, man, for sure. Shout out Blunt in the building. Carl likes head cheese and hot sauce.
There's one more key that I got for you. A key to the game against the Packers.
Okay.
Well, I think Harrison Smith. I know he's getting a little older and all, but I think he needs to stop hanging out with them feller cheerleaders. Not funny, but funny queer fellers. Because he ain't been able to hug a feller to the ground. He needs to take him down with a big hug at the ground,
Yeah, they gotta start tackling, man. Not just him. I feel like the defense in general, they gotta get better at tackling, man. I don't know what's going on. They're allergic. They're allergic, man, to the hugs. They should want more hugs for sure. Allergic to them. Gary, we call him Papa Gary in the chat. He has one more question. Come on, and Luff has a question too. What's Carl's favorite beverage besides Green Bay Tears?
Beverage.
Yeah, what's your favorite beverage besides Green Bay Tears? Or is Green Bay Tears your favorite? Could be your favorite.
I like to mix it a little bit.
All right. Well, talk to us. What is it?
Well, almost anything goes good with French fried taters and potted meat. That's the way I say it.
Okay. All right. There you go. Papa Gary, ask your question. Ask your question for Carl here. He said he wants to ask you. Well, he asked if he can ask you a question, and the answer is yes. We just wait for him to post the question. Hey, why he does that, Keith? We got to get together, bro. Like we gotta get a show on, man. We gotta get a show popping for sure. We gotta get a show popping. Did you watch the show, Carl, tonight? Did you see who I had on? I had a new guy named K Dub. Well, he's semi-new to the Vikings realm of things.
I heard it. I heard me it. Yep.
Yeah. What do you think of him, man?
He's a teacher.
He's a teacher. Yeah. English teacher.
Yeah.
7th grade.
Yeah. Them people is the reason I was homeschooled.
So Papa Gary's question to you, Carl,
Yeah.
is what's your favorite protein? You kill it? Question mark.
You always got to take care of stuff like that. You got to get rid of this stuff. You got to get squirrels and possums and rabbits and make a big stew out of it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Keith, do that, bro. Hit me up ASAP, man. Let's set that up for some in the next week if possible. I'll be back on Thursday, so maybe Friday, man. Hit me up. Let's get it popping. Hey Carl, man, I'm about to get out of here though, man. I appreciate you, being able to call in today. I'm glad we can get you on. I enjoy having you on. I think you give us some great insight on how we can beat the people in front of us, the team in front of us. And now we're on to Green Bay, and we appreciate your takes and giving us some positivity to go to sleep on tonight.
All right, then.
All right, Carl. We'll talk to you soon, brother.
Bye.
Shout out Carl, man. Shout out Carl in the building. Let's go, man. Carl, what does possum taste like? Does Carl eat roadkill? I feel like I'm getting a sense that Carl goes and kills animals and throws them. Is that where the potted meat thing comes from? Hold on, I'm starting to learn a little bit about Carl. Holy, Carl, is there a female body part of a woman that smells like fish? Oh man. Shout out everybody in the building though, man. I appreciate y'all. I'm about to get up out of here. I gotta go pack, man. I gotta jump on a plane tomorrow and fly, man. So I gotta get some rest. But I love y'all, and make sure you turn the notifications on because I still will be popping out the lives, man. Appreciate y'all. Holla at ya, boy.